Hello, welcome to our talks from Tromsø, the Arctic capital of Norway. I'm Adam Jasser. My guest is Aaja Chemnitz, member of Danish Parliament representing Greenland. Danish-controlled Greenland has been at the center of a transatlantic row between President Donald Trump and America's European allies after his annexation threats. It was one of the hottest issues here in Tromsø, so we will now seek to take stock of where things stand. Aaja, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you. Well, last time we met was in Iceland in September, and I recall you were saying that the US security concerns related to Greenland can be addressed, are being addressed by Denmark, by the Greenlanders, by NATO, and then the big thing happened. So
yeah. But I think I was right, and I think we're in a position where we have the working group, which is going to focus on strengthening defense in Greenland, and maybe also looking at a revision of the defense agreement between Greenland, Denmark, and US from 1951. So I think it's still about defense, and I think for the working group, it's going to be very important that, of course, we understand the premise for the working group the same way.
Are you part of that group?
No, I'm not personally.
Okay, well, we were told here by Greenlandic Foreign Minister Vivian Motzfeldt that these negotiations are off to a good start, but she said she wouldn't really comment on how they are going. Do you have any insight on where things stand and how quickly we can expect a conclusion of these talks?
There's been a few meetings, I know, but it's still too early to say exactly what will happen, and you know, there's different views on what the working group should do in the beginning, but now we have had a couple of meetings which have been constructive, and I think that's a good thing. I think every time we have the diplomatic path, it's a good thing for, you know, the way that we work, and we just need to continue to push and also to say that the red lines for Greenland is, you know, Greenland is not for sale, and that ends that discussion.
Right. As far as I understand, some of the discussion focuses on whether the old treaty from the 50s needs to be amended, or whether just practical steps under the existing framework need to be taken. So what is your view on this?
That's true, but I think it's also important to remember that there's also a NATO path, you know, a focus on strengthening defense not only in Greenland but in the whole of Arctic, and I think that should also, of course, include all the Arctic states, and therefore I think it's not only a discussion about Greenland, but it's also a discussion about, you know, the very central role that we have in the Arctic, and we make up around 20% of the Arctic, but you know, strengthening defense is something that we can always discuss, and as long as we respect each other and respect the red lines from Greenland.
Right. Minister Motzfeldt also said that the issue of Greenland independence, which was a prominent topic, particularly between Denmark and Greenland a few years back, now is a matter of really distant future. She even used the term, maybe we will all be gone by the time this is resolved, which sounded like it may never happen, actually. Do you believe President Trump has contributed to the sense that this is not a primary issue at the moment?
I think independence is something that is put off the table for now. I think it's a natural and also a healthy goal to have as a nation, that we would like to be more independent over time. I think it's a long-term goal, and I think it's also important to say that, you know, many people in Greenland still find independence as something that is important to discuss. But for me, it's about the quality of the kind of independence that we want, and that's why, for me, it's about having a discussion on how can we, you know, strengthen business development, how can we strengthen education in Greenland, and so on. So it's also about, you know, having a stronger Danish engagement, having a stronger European engagement in Greenland, in order to make sure that...
Has this been lacking, in your opinion, Danish and...
To some extent, yes. And I've been representing Greenland in the Danish Parliament for more than a decade. And I've seen, you know, when nobody cared about Greenland, to be honest, and up until today. And of course, the Trump situation is, of course, creating you know, a lot of attention for Greenland, but we also see climate change, we also see, you know, just geopolitics and so on. are also matters that is really higher on the agenda. You know, we're spending so much on defense, very little on diplomacy. I think that is an issue that we also need to address. How can we make sure that, we're taking these two into account when we talk about the future of Greenland? How can we have a conversation about strengthening defense in Greenland where we involve and engage the population of Greenland?
The local community.
Yeah.
A surprise participant, a last-minute participant here was Thomas Dans, President Trump's Arctic envoy. He's a businessman, and he has been trying to build better ties between the US and Greenland. And he actually has been going around saying that Denmark has basically failed Greenlanders and that America is going to bring prosperity. And I hear you had a bit of an argument with him here.
Yes.
Can you tell us what it was about?
Yes, it wasn't a meeting, but we just coincidentally met yesterday because we were on the radio very, very early on in the morning. And I was just saying hi to him, and I was saying I'm not interested. And he was saying the check is in the mail. And I was saying, still not interested, we're not as capitalistic.
Meaning we're still interested in buying Greenland?
Yes.
Or
yes.
buying off Greenlanders?
You can ask him, but that's the way I heard it.
So, but he also, he was asked to comment on this discussion. He also mentioned issues such as, Denmark is neglecting health issues in Greenland. He also mentioned this allegedly forced sterilization program in the 50s or 60s. Is this the kind of arguments that are being raised during these negotiations now with the Americans?
It hasn't been raised. And I think, do we have issues that we need to address between Greenland and Denmark? Without a doubt. But I don't think it's the right way to do it. And I think it's so important that we don't lie, that we don't exaggerate in this situation, but that we really respect the people of Greenland. Do we need to do more when it comes to healthcare back home in Greenland? Definitely. Do we have Greenlanders that are living in Denmark? Definitely. But exaggeration of saying that we have health problems as Greenlanders in Denmark, that is completely, too much. It's unacceptable. And I said that to him. I was saying stop lying and stop using the kind of messages and the cases that are important for us as Greenlanders as a way of making your own narrative based on exaggerations or lies, because this is really something that is pushing Greenland and US further apart from each other. So you can say that Greenland has been pushed in the arms of Denmark, and we're standing fully united, and we're actually standing further away from US with the whole situation we have seen this year.
So is that reflected in the mood on the ground in Greenland? Do you feel, now most Greenlanders stopped even toying with this idea of becoming part of America,
yes,
if you will?
It was a very small amount of numbers. It was around 6% of the population that wanted a stronger tie with the United States. And now we see it becoming even less. So, we would like to see development in our society. We would like to see business development, educational development, and so on. But I think it would be best to do it with the Danes for now, and also to stand very closely with our European friends as well.
Aaja, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. This was World Talks from Tromsø, Norway. I'm Adam Jasser.